Hi, it's Guy Morrow here, and this short video is the fourth in a series that accompanies my book entitled Artist Management, Agility in the Creative and Cultural Industries. This research-based book conceptualises the artist-manager partnership as a form of group creativity. Because artists contribute to society in a complex variety of ways, so too do artist managers. While artistic creativity can serve useful, benevolent purposes that enrich our world, there is also a dark side to artistic creativity. The divisive tendencies of the arts can lead to tension, violence, and fanaticism, and creative thinkers can be more dishonest. Furthermore, many of the activities that are required to sustain artistic careers, such as the flying involved with international touring, are very carbon-intensive and therefore have an environmental impact. A full understanding of artistic contributions is therefore needed when examining the topic of artist management. What exactly are artists and their managers managing? Artistic contributions are often understood in one of two ways. First, artistic creativity can be seen as beneficial in and of itself. This understanding of the intrinsic value of the arts is often referred to as art for art's sake. Second, artistic creativity is believed to generate instrumental benefits. Within arts advocacy and funding discourse that emanates from the creative and cultural industries, there's been a shift from considering the arts to be a lost leader for the public good, one that should be subsidised using taxpayers' money, towards arguments that there are a wide range of instrumental benefits that can be derived from artistic creativities. Within the creative and cultural industries, economic benefits are arguably predominant in such instrumental arguments. However, such arguments also feature the impact school students' participation in artistic creativities can have on school performance in other subjects, and the ways in which the arts can strengthen democracy. The creative and cultural industries literature itself is therefore divided due to its tendency to rely on such instrumental arguments, particularly when it comes to a consideration of which art forms can be lent to the mass market and those which can not so readily be. This tension also plays out in policy debates when there's an attempt to distinguish between high art or mass or popular art. The complexity of artistic contributions and how these contributions are managed therefore derives from binaries such as these, and also from the uncertainty surrounding creativity itself. Following Madden and Bloom, two broad conceptual forms of creativity can be used to analyse this complexity and uncertainty here. These are hard creativity and weak creativity. The differences between these two forms pivot on the concept of newness. For them, hard creativity represents the creation of something that is brand new in the sense that it is unprecedented, creation as invention. Weak creativity represents something merely brought into being, creation simply as production. For Madden and Bloom, these two forms of creativity are located at opposite ends of a spectrum. These categories are therefore not distinct, but rather creativity involves various blends of hardness and weakness. A particular challenge for artists and their managers is that while weak creativity is perhaps the predominant form of artistic creativity, the focus of arts advocates, policymakers, and often the media on innovation and hard artistic creativities means that what most artists are creating the majority of the time falls outside the scope of many of the support structures within the creative and cultural industries. The research problem this book explores then is, how do artists and their managers make headway in such complex conditions of uncertainty? I will explore this problem by drawing upon original research that I conducted in three sectors of the creative and cultural industries: music, dance, and film. The research questions informing this study emphasise the subjective experiences of artist managers and self-managed artist entrepreneurs. What is it like to manage an artist? Or if you are a self-managed artist entrepreneur, what is it like to manage your own career? Can agile methods be used to manage artists within the creative and cultural industries? The contributions of artists, both in terms of artistic creativity that is beneficial in and of itself and artistic creativity that generates instrumental benefits, drive the creative and cultural industries as part of the super creative core of these industries. This book focuses on how artists are managed. In doing so, it aims to advance our understanding of the generative relationship between artists and their managers, and those between self-managed artist entrepreneurs and the people with whom they interact in order to create their careers. This book builds on a growing body of research concerning creative labour by focusing on the key role artist managers have in managing the endemic features of this type of labour: over-identification, fragility, portfolio careers, low and sometimes non-existent wages, low emotional resilience, gendered constraints, and intense competition leading to high failure rates. And because artist management itself is a form of creative labour, this book will also examine how artist managers sustain their own livelihoods and mental health. The growing body of literature on creative labour has examined these issues, as well as the positive aspects of artistic careers such as intrinsic motivation, the joy of discovery and creation, and self-realisation, aspects that have been addressed in the field of creativity research more broadly. However, comparatively little attention has been paid to how artists are managed within the creative and cultural industries, and specifically whether agile management approaches can help address issues such as career fragility. The paucity of research into artist management is striking, given that the majority of artists in Australia and the UK, for example, identify as being freelancers and self-employed. And artist management, including self-management, involves helping artists to sustain livelihoods in contexts in which they are primarily left to their own devices. As Csikszentmihalyi, an influential positive psychologist, noted, quote, "Although all creative persons in breaking new ground must create careers for themselves, this is especially true for artists, musicians and writers. They are often left to their own devices, exposed to the vagaries of market forces and changing tastes, without being able to rely on the protection of institutions. Those who persevere and succeed must be creative not only in the manipulation of symbols, but perhaps more importantly, in shaping a future for themselves," end quote. This book therefore focuses on the ways in which artists, self-managed artist entrepreneurs and artist managers shape futures for themselves. This is particularly important given that there is a paradox relating to arts policy. Quote, "Although the arts have been largely embedded within organisational and management structures, the situation of individual artists has become more vulnerable," end quote. Thank you very much.